Hey, what's happening? Welcome to Maych TV. So, look, Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool. We've got a few days to digest that information. It's still raw. It still hurts. I really wish this was some sort of mad practical joke, but it's not. This is our nightmare. Step right in. The water is warm.
Just jump right into my nightmare. The water is warm.
Oh.
And I say nightmare because, look, Liverpool are in the healthiest position they've been in probably at the time that I've supported Liverpool, to be honest. The big question is who takes over? And look, there'll be lots of these kind of things coming in the days, weeks and months, of course. And there will be more detailed on this to come from me, I think. But really what I wanted to talk about, I've got the current next manager odds for Liverpool. And I want to talk through some of the names, not from necessarily how good statistically they are as managers. As I say, I will delve into that in due course. This is more vibes, which I think is very, very important, because I think there's a really big balance to be struck, because I think you've got guys who pass the statistical analysis. So, you know, what we know is Klopp told Liverpool in November that this was going to be happening, and Liverpool's data team have been on a mission to find out who's going to be the next Liverpool manager behind the scenes ever since then. And those guys, you know, like the Will Spearmans of this world, will have reams and reams of data. And I say reams as though it's all held on some sort of old school printer paper, you know, like the How old are you? Do you get that reference? Let me know in the comments below. Drop a like while you're at it and subscribe. Whereas in reality, it's, you know, all kinds of spreadsheets, probably on like an Excel doc. Yeah. So there's that. So I think you can look at the data and you can say, well, this guy, you know, his teams have on average X amount of percent possession, and you know, they press this amount, and etc., etc. Really top line. And then on the other end of the scale, you've got vibes managers. You've got guys who just, you know, here for a good time, not a long time. And then you've got obviously all kinds of permutations within that. The hardest thing in finding the next guy is that you need someone who's got a style of football that's going to fit, because you can have a vibes guy who's got all the right sort of chat, and he's got the big smile, he's a big gregarious character like Klopp, say, or like Shankly or whatever. And even like, you know, Rafa Benitez exuded a real sort of cool calmness that really vibed well with Liverpool fans in his pomp at Liverpool. You can have that, but ultimately if your team plays crap football, then it's not going to work. And so, like, I use an example of this. Let's use Jose Mourinho, who's not on this list, or if he is, he'll be a significantly way there me see where there you go. Jose Mourinho, 25-1. Dear God, hopefully not. But like, obviously, there was a time and a place where Jose Mourinho would have been a good fit. You know, by all accounts, he really liked Liverpool when he was at Porto. If Liverpool had got him instead of him going to Chelsea, we'd have all absolutely adored Jose Mourinho. We just would have done. But and look, he's not a good, super positive vibes guy, but he is vibes. He's got charisma. He draws things upon himself. He is box office in his own sort of way. Now, look, his box office returns have dipped significantly in recent years, but more worryingly, it's his style of football. His style of football is basically arse. He is effectively one of those managerial merry-go-round, I'll save you from relegation, probably get the job for another season or so, and then the fans will fall out with me because I play crap football. English managers that we see all the time. Pick a name. Sam Allardyce, for example. He's in that sort of mold. And ultimately, you can get somebody who's, again, really lovely, really sound, really funny, but yeah, they're not talented enough a coach. I don't know where Brendan Rodgers fell into this a bit. He certainly had the gift of the gab, certainly more than Roy Hodgson did. And he obviously he was a very competent coach and had some really good positive ideas, but then lacked experience and whatever. So without running too far down the rabbit hole on this one, because I've got days of this to come over the next 3 months, I'll pick some names off the list that are basically in the running at the moment. Thomas Frank, first and foremost. So he's clearly liked by Liverpool. He's clearly liked by most people, you know, fans of, you know, Premier League football. Ever good coach by all intents, good guy as well. Really presents well. Clearly, what we call, I guess, like a proper football man. He likes good football, and I think that would fit with us. He's quite humble. He speaks really well in his press conferences and stuff. My concern over someone like Thomas Frank is, has he got what it takes to just make that step up. And it's going to be so hard to judge this. And this is going to be my one gripe across kind of all of these. And maybe I'll give some people a pass in other ways. It's quite emotional to take this. I'm not sure he's got like that extra sort of gear to go to, because he doesn't seem like his character's not so big and his football's not so good. He just feels like a very safe sort of manager. Whereas let's look at Ange Postecoglu as an example, 14-1 at the moment. I think personality and vibes, he would be a spot on Liverpool manager. Absolutely spot on. It's still a little early in his Tottenham sort of reign to know whether is that all he's got in terms of his football. So at the moment, obviously, they're trying to be possession, they're trying to play out from the back, they're trying to press, they're trying to be high energy, but they're still in that very much in that stage where you can play quite counter-attacking and get away with it, because ultimately you transition from being a team that's in a bit of a mire to being a team that contends for European, for Champions League places by being a bit of a surprise package, loads of pace, having good attacking intent, and really, getting the team fit and drilled and bought into your cause. But then that only lasts so long before you've got to convert to being a possession-based team, because teams park the bus against you and you can't counter-attack. It's where Man United have fallen foul ever since Alex Ferguson left. They've never been able to make that transition from counter-attacking team that just gets into the Champions League to a team that can really put down a Premier League title challenge again. And that's something to watch out for. But I love Ange Postecoglu. But the thing is, of course, he's now at Spurs, and I'm not sure. Look, ultimately, I never would have considered him if he'd not gone to Tottenham. I wasn't looking at Celtic and thinking the next Liverpool manager can come from there. That definitely not. So him being there, and he'll obviously be bought into that. I don't know whether you'd be able to get him out of there, although he is a professed Liverpool fan. But he's edging towards it a little bit for me. Pep Lijnders is on the list, obviously Liverpool's current assistant manager. By all accounts, I think if you knew he was going to be the next Liverpool manager, you'd just say it, wouldn't you? I think he obviously wants to test himself as a manager again. Didn't go very well in his last sort of run out in that, but he's fully integrated into Liverpool. He knows what's required of him inside and out. I don't think he is the guy. I think he's the positive vibes guy. He's obviously a great tactician as well, because he's got so much to say in how Liverpool play football and have done under Jurgen Klopp as well. He is the guiding force behind a lot of Liverpool's, principles. But as a standalone manager, he's the kind of guy who I think would need a real disciplinarian alongside of him, because he is very, very happy and very smiley and very positive, and sometimes you need someone to have a little bit more bark and a bit more bite. I wouldn't have been against Pep Lijnders with like James Milner coming in as an assistant manager if you'd also kept Kravitz, for example, someone there so you had a bit of continuity. But it looks like that's being chucked out, and it looks like Pep is going to go obviously with that as well. Nagelsmann's one of the other ones that kind of floats around. I see him constantly. An honest answer is, I'm not against the manager who knows how to skateboard. I'm a big Back to the Future fan. Always wanted to be able to do it, but never had the centre of gravity. So I'm very, very, I'm a big Tony Hawk's fan. What I'll say is I have dreams of being able to skateboard, but never could. So I'm envious of anyone who can. Can he do a 900? Maybe that should be on the interview, because it would certainly rank him higher. All I see with Nagelsmann is he never seems to stay at a club, and it's a bit of a red flag. But I don't want to delve into it, because people will know more about Nagelsmann. I don't know. There's nothing about him that makes me super excited about him as a Liverpool manager. Roberto De Zerbi's another one on there. He's 6-1, and we're getting obviously a little bit closer to home. He's definitely got the right. He's churlish enough. He doesn't take shit, which I like. He's obviously energetic. He's passionate, which I think would buy him really well. And he plays a style of football which has definitely got, as a nice natural fit with what's already in place with Liverpool. The problem he's got is Roberto De Zerbi, and Nagelsmann's got this as well, and Ange Postecoglu to an extent as well. Liverpool own Mohamed Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson Becker. You're talking about best in class, won absolutely everything. Brendan Rodgers had these issues when he came into a squad that had Jamie Carragher and Steven Gerrard in, amongst others. And David Moyes suffered with this problem as well, by the way, when he took over Manchester United job of all of a sudden, if it doesn't go brilliantly from day one. And bear in mind, the bar is set so high at Liverpool because of what Klopp's done. Even if this season is an absolute car crash from now on, the bar is going to be set pretty damn high. Even higher if Liverpool finish this season with silverware in the trophy cabinet or additional silverware. There's a couple of players, a couple of managers on that list, Zerbi being one of them, that I'm not sure he carries enough weight to kind of get you through a tough transitional period if you hit it, to ride that out, you know, in the eyes of the fans and obviously in the eyes of the players as well. And obviously I can't 100% speak for the players because that'll be a different kettle of fish. I'm not an elite sportsman, so I can't really put myself totally into their mindset. But I know from the fans' perspective, you know, when Jurgen Klopp's there, and like I've used Alisson as an example, there are just some roles that knowing that you've got the best there is really helps you get through, because everyone has tricky moments. But being able to go, no, it's fine, they know what to do and they'll sort it out, really is a huge part. Like Manchester United, again, they've not been able to rebuild because they can never fully put trust in the manager because of either the personality, the experience, or the style of football that they play. One or a combination of those factors are always the things that undoes it. And this goes back to the difficulty of finding the next guy for Liverpool. I've seen Zinedine Zidane linked. He would definitely have, I mean, I don't think he speaks English, which will be a major stumbling block. He's obviously got the aura, he's got the experience. I have no idea whether he's a good enough manager, and I have been in a stadium when he's won a European Cup as manager. He's my favourite non-Liverpool player, outfield player of all time. I'd like the idea of Zidane, but I couldn't sit here and tell you whether he's actually a good coach or a good manager, and yet he's won 3 Champions Leagues. Weird that, isn't it? You know, I'm sure that might rile some people, but I think you get what I'm saying with that. And then you got random names like Graham Potter. Nah, not for me. Thomas Tuchel, no. Julian Lopetegui, I mean, yeah, decent coach, but Luis Enrique, you're getting into like recognisable names, but I don't know. I want to be thrilled, and the best example I can have of this is that when Liverpool saw Robbie Fowler in 2001, devastating, absolutely devastating to lose probably our favourite son almost. And you're thinking, well, there's the number 9 shirt bacon. Yeah, look, we had Owen and we had Heskey, but like Robbie Fowler was just on a pedestal above all else. And then Liverpool went and got Nicolas Anelka on loan, and it was like, okay, yeah, you've lost something in Fowler, and you've lost a player that was truly dear to our hearts and a phenomenal talent. But if you're going to soften the blow, soften it with someone like Nicolas Anelka, and that's kind of how I feel with this one. So the one I've not discussed, the elephant in the room, as it were, at the moment, 5-2 on, is Xabi Alonso. Does he have the experience at the moment? No. Like, top level experience, no. What, a season and a half in the Bundesliga, as much as this season's going spectacularly, and actually the turn of fortunes last year he produced at Leverkusen was really inspiring. So that remains the sort of question mark. My immediate reaction to hearing Alonso was that it was like, I want someone who's got a bit more top level silverware under his belt to kind of come in. But actually, when we talk about the vibes now, look, I'm not saying he's not going to be Jurgen Klopp, is he? He's not going to be a huge, big, again, gregarious is the word, big, larger than life character for Liverpool. But he's so cool. He's so cool. Look at Xabi Alonso. Just look how phenomenally together he is. And, you know, it sounds stupid, but it matters in Liverpool. It's funny that I'll give you a stupid example of this. So Brendan Rodgers came in as this short, overweight, yellow teeth, like fella who had great ideals, and obviously it was a good talker, but obviously did throw out some Brentisms or what have you. And then he split up with his missus, got himself a new girlfriend, and lost loads of weight, and got his teeth done, and got his tan, and he looked well good, and he got absolutely ripped for it. Absolutely ripped. Jurgen Klopp came in, like, he's obviously had hair implants at some point in the past, but he with dyed blonde hair. And, you know, in the time of becoming a Liverpool manager, he's had his teeth done in a huge way. He's had the laser eye surgery done on his glasses. He obviously takes care of himself in like cosmetic ways, and no one's asked, because there's just something about some people who can just carry it, and it being cool and having an image and looking good is weirdly part of the Scouse culture as well. There's something that vibes with us in that, and you know, and again, someone will be able to tell me there'll be countless videos. James Olcott, I think, has done a really good one on the Xabi thing of how you'll fit, and I will do more in-depth research into this, of course. But actually, in terms of that, is he going to, the big shoes to fill, huge, impossible shoes to fill, are Jurgen Klopp's. But if you wanted a Nicolas Anelka's replacing Robbie Fowler for the rest of the season kind of vibe, I would, the only manager I've said there, and the only manager on the full list, the only manager in world football right now, if you told me he's going to be Liverpool's manager, I would go, ooh. I would be quite, I don't know, relaxed, excited. I feel quite good about it. And this is what I'm talking about. These are the vibes. I want to feel like I'm excited about the next project, and I've seen Liverpool make wrong decisions. I saw us get rid of Rafa Benitez, who had become a divisive figure, but replace him with Roy Hodgson. And look, ultimately, I'm wary of talking too much about the managers out there, and I don't want to slaughter anyone on there, because anyone can be good. Really, anyone can, particularly given what Liverpool have got in the squad and the you know, the structure in the football club in general. And I will go to bat for whoever ends up as Liverpool manager, because once the Liverpool manager, I'll support them. And you know, we talk about Hodgson all the time. We did support Roy Hodgson when he came in, because ultimately you've got no choice. The decision's made and they become the manager. But yeah, I'm wary about having these conversations. I'm scared about what comes next for Liverpool. The only man on the market, and he's not even on the market, the only man in the world right now who I would feel calmed by is Alonso. And it's funny, because Gerrard's on the 20-1, Steven Gerrard, 2 years ago, I'd have had the exact same vibes. And I fear a little bit of where Gerrard's career's gone could happen to Alonso. You know, what if you leave him in place another year or two and he all goes tits up? What if you get him too soon and he hasn't got the depth of experience to pull Liverpool through tough and trying times? You know, what if you accidentally got knocked down crossing the same road that you cross 50 times, you know, a year? Shit happens sometimes. But I do like the feel of Xabi Alonso as Liverpool manager. What do you think? Which manager out there makes you feel the most calm, or rounds the edges off the ill feeling of the Klopp stuff? Let me know in the comments section underneath, and I'll do more on this, of course I will. Plenty more on Redmen Plus as well. We've got loads and loads of coverage around this. Dan, we're pulling in experts for their insight. There's already some stuff from Marcus Fjortoft on the Xabi Alonso stuff. Yeah, use the code KLOPP to get a free month at redmenplus.com. Fill your boots. We've got you covered in a big way over there. And other than that, thank you so much. And yeah, try to keep smiling, because it is very weird times, but we'll get through it together.